Hey guys, it's Disco Spider and happy Hallowtoon. Today we'll be talking about a special from easily one of my favorite movies of all time, Toy Story. I also have reviewed the Toy Story of Terror Blu-ray if you want to check that out, but here I'll be talking about the special itself. After getting a flat tire during a road trip at night, the toys find themselves trapped in a motel with a creature among them. Watching this special again, it does not feel like a Halloween special at all. The first act, I think like the first 7 minutes of the special, is a, typical monster movie. And then the last 2 acts are just like, an escape plot, which have nothing to do with Halloween at all. I personally prefer the last 2 acts of the special because we're introduced to a lot of cool toys and a really cool scene with Jessie overcoming her fear. But as for the first act, it's meh. I kind of find it a little dull and pretty much boring. I'm not a fan of monster movies because I get scared easily, but also I just don't really care for them. They kind of bore me out. And the first act is a little hard to sit through. There's not a lot of jokes in the first act. Pretty much all the jokes in the first act is one of the characters, who I totally forget his name, but he's one of the new toys in the third movie. He knows a lot about movies and plays and the formula of them, and he knows what's going to happen in a typical monster movie. So he's like, oh yeah, this is going to happen, and it actually does, which I don't really find funny. Maybe for the first viewing it's funny, but then after a while when you watch the special over and over again, it's like, just get on with it. And speaking of comedy, there isn't that much in this special, which is pretty sad, since personally I feel like Toy Story is one of the funniest movies, in my opinion, although it doesn't really try to be all that funny. I still find a lot of the dialogue to be really funny. And so this special isn't really meant for comedy. It's more of the plot, I guess. Although the plots aren't really the greatest, since we've had them in other episodes and movies and all that stuff, and they're just not that great. I do like how this special is focusing more on Jessie and her fear of being in small spaces. And the special isn't really about Woody and Buzz, which I like how these specials, since there's more than one, there's 2, although I did not like the second one. How these specials, they take other characters, like the first one is Jessie and the second one is Trixie, and they develop the characters a little bit more, a little bit further, which I like, instead of having the same characters, and Buzz and Woody, although we've seen them get developed in the other movies countless of times, so it's good for a change to get the other characters here. But as for the new characters, the only one I really liked is probably Combat Carl, like the original one. I don't know, I just find him cool. He's a cool character. He's not like the greatest character in the Toy Story franchise, but out of the new characters we have, he's probably my favorite. And I wouldn't mind if he made a cameo in Toy Story 4. He doesn't have to have like a big role, but maybe a scene of him in it. Doesn't really have to have too many dialogue, but maybe one line would be cool. Also, in this special, there is a villain. I don't personally consider him a villain, since he doesn't really do any villainous things. The only bad thing he does is steal toys from kids, which is bad, and you shouldn't do it, but he's not like killing kids or something like that, which I like villains that aren't so awful, since it's not realistic for a villain to wake up one day and be like, I'm gonna be evil now. He's just trying to live his life, and yeah, the choices he makes aren't the best, but he's not so awful. He's not like Hitler or anything. So this special is pretty good. It's not like a must watch unless maybe you're a Toy Story fan like I am. If you don't like Toy Story, then you're not gonna like the special. And heck, even if you like Toy Story, you might not like this special. It's okay. As a die-hard Toy Story fan, I consider it pretty good. It's a special that I'd watch only once a year, and that's on Halloween, and that's it. I could not watch this more than once a year. So yeah, I would only recommend this to true Toy Story fans. So yeah, I'm the Disco Spider, and happy Hallowtoon.